Hello there. Now I want to make a pin tray. As you know, whenever we sew we have little bits that we might need later in the project, and so it's not necessarily for pins, but say I need a different foot or a button or something, then I'd like to have it out ready. Yeah, it makes perfect sense to me, and it's not going to be that hard. I don't know actually. I'm going to cheat. I would like to use this part of the fabric, and I don't need it quite as big. So yeah, talk about wastage, but it's fine. It's my fabric, so I can do what I like. There we are. I'm going to trim this, because I can see that the starting side wasn't straight. Lovely, so I'm going to make it quite big. Now, I'm also going to do it so it goes up. But I don't need it to go up much. Okay. And I'm going to assume that that's long enough. Lovely. Let's just double check. No. Okay. So I'm going to lose the grey stripe. That's grand. Okay, so that's that. I am going to use this as a pattern for the lining. To cheat. Okay, sorry, I've got bored. Yeah, I'm a terrible cheater. So yeah, don't do that because it ruins the fabric. It'll never look right. And I want to actually put a bit of pin. Oh, I don't know how to describe it. A sort of ball, okay, for the pins. Lovely. So what I need is a piece of cotton, if you don't mind, Michelle. In fact, I've got two. And I've got some wadding left over, but any stuffing will do. And I'm going to squidge that into a ball. Squidgy, squidgy. And then I'm going to place it in the centre of this offcut of fabric. And then using the piece of cotton I just requisitioned. All I'm going to do is that for now, okay, because it will make sense later. Okay, now that can go on the table to be knocked off when I sew, yeah? Yeah, because that's why we're making a pin tray, because I keep just pushing everything onto the floor. Okay. So now I've got my pieces, I am going to just sew around them. And I suppose in a way I've made it needlessly complicated, but such is life. Now I'm doing a square, which is slightly more complicated than a circle on a sewing machine, on a pattern side, and rather than do my corners yet, I'm going to leave the needle down, I'm going to turn the fabric, and I'm going to turn the top cloth, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to point my corners. So I'm not giving myself much of a hem allowance. This is just a stage I'm going through, I'm afraid. But obviously, yes. Consider your hem allowance when you're cutting. Or, at the very least, make it the same on all pieces. So, lovely. I've just come up to the end there, and I've sewn over a little way, and I'm not going to sew this up. I'm going to leave it open so that I can turn it inside out. Now, because I didn't measure it, I just made sure that I had enough. I am now just going to trim off the excess. Sorry, this is sheeting. I don't know why I'm being so reckless. Okay, and I'm going to ignore that. There we are. So make sure that all the corners are nice and straight and tight. Lovely. Now, same again. So, right side up, right side down. And then I'm going to sew along. I'm going to come to the corner, and then I'm going to start to sew again. Lovely, turning the square round and then sewing again, making sure that this is all flat and everything and I'm not getting it all caught up. Because I want my corners to be as sharp as possible. Lovely. And then the last one, and again I have left myself a little bit of excess where I've just guessed the pattern. So there we are. What I need to do now is I need to do a nice tidy seam on the base. So I am going to pull this, push this, then make sure this is all straight. Now I know it's a bit cheaty that I'm using stripes, but you need to sort of lower it down so that you can see that this is level. And then I'm going to do a good strong stitch along the side. So there we go. Pull that out of the machine and then I can just trim that off. Lovely. So that's nice and square. And I made a mistake. I do this all the time actually. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unpick this corner. Now this is going to make it really hard to turn it inside out, but what I wanted to do was I wanted to sew this in, and I'm going to try and make it as flat as possible so that the dog-eared bits are sticking out, and then I'm going to trim them off. And I want it right in the corner, and yeah, as tight as possible really, without actually inflicting injury on the machine. So now it is going to make it turning inside out a bit harder, and obviously I'm going through quite a few layers of cloth here, so I'm just assisting it with my hand. I'm making sure that it all lines up neatly at the end. So, there we are. Now, I'm going to just trim this. Lovely. Now, what I need to do is I need to turn this inside out and then place it in the outside, as it were, and then sew round. Now, because we are doing a square and we have corners, I'm going to push the corner out and then I'm going to push the corner in, and then I'm going to mark where the corner is with a nice pin. So, and then again, push the corner out, push the corner in. It's going to be a bit tricky because I've sewn the ball in there, but I want it to be as smooth as possible, really. And of course, find the corner, push the corner in, and then line it all up. So, the difficult part is where the seams join, so I'm going to just spend a bit more time when I'm sewing around there and concentrate lots. So I'm going to put the lining on the top half, even though I've got the pins round on the bottom half, but that's fine. So once it's all lined up and you're happy, then we're literally just going to sew a straight line, watching out for pins of course, and making sure that we've got both sides sewn. Doing is I'm concentrating on the bottom rather than the lining. I want the bottom, the fabric, the coloured fabric, to be nice and straight and crisp, rather than the lining, which can have a few puckers in if it's all going a bit array. But it is the outside that I want as smooth as possible. And I'm literally just coming up to the end now. So I'm going to do a couple of reverse stitches. While I turn this inside out, it's going to have quite a bit of strain on it. And I want it to be as secure at the end as possible. So what I need to do now is I need to turn it all inside out. Now I've chosen for the outside a nice strong canvas. This is because I do need it to sort of stay upright on its own. And I'm just putting my finger inside and pushing out these corners. If you've got some blunt scissors or something, then that's great to use as well. So, now that the corners of the outer layer are straight, I'm just pushing in the corners of that. Before I finish doing that though, I'm going to sew the seam up together. Now all I'm doing is literally, I'm pinching these two bits of fabric so that they tuck in, because I don't want any loose ends, do I? And yeah, getting it as straight as possible. It's only quite a small seam, but I could put a pin in there if I wanted to. But I think actually it's too small to put a little pin in there just for now. So there we are. That's the seam sewn up. I push it all home now. Make sure that all these loose ends are all trimmed off. and I'm going to take away the windy thread that I use just to hold it in position whilst I sewed it. Lovely. And if it comes off easily, it should do, it's only wound round, then that's great. If not, I'm going to just take a stitch picker or something. That seemed a lot more than I put in, but never mind. So there I am. It's a very simple, very handy little tray for putting pins in. I think what I'll actually do as well is I'll do a couple of stitches. I do have a needle here, and get the lining all secure so that it looks really nice. Okie dokie. I know, I'm stealing it from the bobbin this time. It's not good. This is why I run out of bobbin thread halfway through a sew. It's because I steal the thread. Oh, I don't think this is going to happen. Okay, I can come back to that. Or I could pause the camera and then just finish it off, couldn't I? So yes, you could use a bit of cardboard under the bottom, or you could even use a bit of glue just to keep it all secure. Anyway, I'm going to switch the camera off and thread the needle because I can't do it on the video. I just can't do it. Lovely. So there we are. A little pin tidy for all those little bits that I'm going to need throughout my sewing session. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'm Fiona. Please like, please share, and please subscribe. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching.